We got a little spin-off segment going on here. Cliff Floyd in studio. Cliff, we've never walked through your minor league career, and given we're a road to Wrigley today, I wanted to play around with kind of just telling me about the minor leagues, because you played for some affiliates, and I always love looking at old affiliates. But let's start back in '91. You were drafted 14th overall. That year, you played 56 games in rookie ball, 750 OPS. What do you remember about rookie ball?
I was terrified. You know what I mean? Coming out of high school, didn't know what the heck to expect. But I think the biggest thing is you're around talented players that was, in my mind, on the same level as me. You know, for years, and you felt like you overmatched or you was better than certain players, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's go time, right? You gotta step your game up, look in the mirror, challenge yourself, whatever the case may be. Long bus rides, remember that, right? Get on a bus and going 10 hours, and I'm like, well, this is not what I thought this was all about when you sign a deal and with the major league team or whatever case. But I was grounded, I was humbled by the fact that my parents instilled in me to just, hey, go figure it out on the fly, adjust, understand what's going on, and challenge yourself to be great. And that's what I did. It helped me in so many different areas where I was baffled, man. I just didn't know what to do, right? I mean, I had never been away from home, right? This home has been everything to me, and to be on the road for the first time in my life because I didn't get a chance to go to college. That to me was where I was like, boy, you need to grow up real quick. Big boy pants came on real quick where you had to make that adjustment.
All right, 10-hour bus rides. What were you doing on those?
Man, well, you had some crazy dudes that didn't want you riding with them, so they would be, doing uncharacteristic things in their seats.
Don't have to expand. Yeah,
no, and you be like, well, I ain't sitting with you for 10 hours. So, you doubling up. We had, Shoney's was one of the restaurants on the road.
Okay.
The bus broke down more than I ever thought a bus would break down, and we weren't on Greyhounds. We was on some buses that didn't have no names. I'm like, well, this ain't no charter, because I know that for a fact. No TVs. It was some getting used to, right? It was totally different than anything I'd ever grown up. But I didn't grow up, I didn't grow up rich. I mean, I grew up grinding, but this was totally out of the realm of what I could even imagine. And I think the crazier part was when you took these bus rides, you played that night.
Oh, so I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so when we'd be driving all night, and then when you got to that town, you go into the yard and
my legs are tired.
I mean, and listen, we drop our bags off at the hotel, and it's back on the bus to the field. That's the minor. That was the minor.
The travel schedule's changed now, where you play 6 games. In the past, you would travel 2 times a week, which is like crazy to think about now. So, 92, you go and play 134 games for the Albany Polecats, which is a very suspect team name there. But what do you remember about Albany?
Albany was something different, man. Didn't know where the heck it was. Obviously, it was Albany, Georgia. And I'll never forget, we moved into this apartment. It was Marquee Grissom's brother, Antonio Grissom, and myself. We moved into this apartment in inner city. I won't say the hood. It was inner city. And we get this knock on the door like 5 in the morning. I go to the door, I open up, and the young lady next door is like, "You got some eggs?" I go, "What?" Like, she's like, "You got some eggs I can borrow?" I'm like,
borrow? Is she gonna give them back?
I'm like, you gonna go to the store later and give me my eggs back? And I'm like 19 years old, and I'm like, bro, this is crazy. But this is you growing up and understanding, like, it's totally different than just the field. Everybody thinks it's just in between lines all the time. You deal with so much outside the lines, especially on your own, and moving around the city of Albany. You got a chance to see some different cultures, totally different than the inner cities, even in Chicago where I grew up, right? But there was totally uncharted waters.
Uncharted. We can play Mad Libs with some of the adjectives you use here.
You had to really dial it in there to make it.
93 Harrisburg Senators, which I think is still a named affiliate.
Still
I believe,
there.
Right, the AA Nationals, and then the Ottawa Lynx, which is no longer an affiliate. That year, you jump 2 levels, and then you eventually get a taste of the show. I believe you played 10 games at the end of that season. When you got to the show, how much did it cause you to reflect on all we're talking about here, like the journey you went through, the eggs at 5 o'clock in the morning, the bus rides? You're like, oh, we got a plane now?
as soon as I got to the league, I forgot about all that crap. I was gone. I was like, I do remember telling myself, I'll never forget. I get to the yard one day, and as I'm getting there, I'm on the train because in Montreal they had the underground system. So I'm riding on the train to the park, and I was telling myself, I was like, don't you ever go back to the minors again, ever. Like, ever, because this is what it's like. This is it. Like, you ain't getting no higher than this. This is it. And you're going to ball out, and you're going to have a good time. But you could just tell the bright lights was what it was all about. I don't think I ever dreamt, like, this would be the end date, like me getting to the league. I didn't foresee that. I don't know why I didn't. I just felt like I was going to play. I never thought when I had a chance to see two teams that I grew up watching, the White Sox and the Cubs, that one day I'll be on that TV doing this, right? So I just didn't envision that. 93 was crazy because I thought I had the best. I was ready to shine in Harrisburg. I go in, Jim Tracy was our manager, and I walk in, I'm like, this is it. You know, I'm buttoned up, I'm ready to go. I'm chilling. I sit down, he goes, you ready? I'm like, hell yeah. Like, this is it. And he goes, you're going to Ottawa. I go, what? You're like, going to Ottawa? Bro, I ain't going to Ottawa. Like, I'm going to Montreal. He's like, nah, you're going to Ottawa. And man. I stunk.
Oh, really?
I was that dude. So that's why I'm always sitting here on set, and I'm always challenging these dudes that get sent up and down, right? And when you think about so many guys that you're watching, you're going, man, you can't go down there and sulk. And I did. I was that guy. I was a poster of sulking because I was down there going, ain't no way I should be here.
665 OPS at Iowa, you had 1,000 OPS at Harrisburg. So we got the numbers.
You know what I mean? Like, it hit me hard, and I just couldn't do nothing. I mean, you literally couldn't hit nothing.
And so at various points in your career later, you went back down AAA. I'm assuming this was on rehab stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you went back, did you ever have like a combo with a kid coming up that you feel like you really like helped them from a mentor-mentee standpoint?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I did. I think the biggest thing was on the field, I always felt like that's where you could show them, as opposed to talking about it. See, when you're talking to dudes, sometimes it gets thrown by the wayside. Like, guys ain't really checking. They checking out on that. Like, you're only gonna talk so much. I think when I got the most help was at the big league level. I had like Randy Milligans, and I can remember the dudes that were hollering, Marquee Grissom's, would be telling me things like, hey, when you get here, this is in batting practice, whatever, this is what we're gonna do, right? Randy Milligan on defense. You want to stay in the big leagues and play every day? You're going to need to backhand this ball as opposed to trying to get in front of it all the time. You need to make the throw to second. All these things I remember as opposed to somebody talking to me going, hey, this is what we're going to do every time you get in this situation. No, because I'm going to forget that. So I think when I got on the field, I felt like, hey, when we get out here, I'm going to show you what I feel like you should, what you're doing wrong, like that first step in the outfield or whatever the case may be. And I helped a couple cats. I felt like my biggest help probably in my career was probably David Wright with the Mets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. New York, it wasn't so much about the streets and being out because he wasn't that type of dude. It was more about just making time for himself. I think that's the one thing big leaguers, youngsters at the big leagues tend to forget is making time for themselves because you're getting tugged. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do it. I don't think Pete is getting tugged like that. I think he is smart enough to know when he gets there, he can kind of tail off because he's really good. But you have to do that because it allows you to appreciate, one, the league, and then two, get yourself ready for what your job is to do. And that's perform at 7 o'clock, period.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Quick one for you. Is there a player that you saw in the minors that you were like, this guy's going to be a stud, but he never made it? Is there one that's like, oh, my God, I don't know how that dude who was hitting 25 pumps a year in Harrisburg never made it, or anybody along those lines? I always love, like, the lost minor leaguers. I always think of, like, guys growing up when I was younger. There's this guy, Kendrys Vargas, I remember. He played for the Twins for a brief period of time. I remember seeing him when I was younger back in, this would have been like the New Britain Rockcats, and I was like, this dude's hitting 35 pumps in the bigs. And he kind of just never made it. I love those guys. Is there one that jumps out?
Man,
putting you on the spot.
Glenn Murray.
Okay.
Outfielder. If you look at Glenn Murray numbers, ain't no way he ain't make it.
Oh, man.
And, he might have got a cup of coffee, and that's a half a cup. But not enough for me to be, like, when I saw Glenn Murray, I'm like,
That's what it is, yeah.
You know what I mean? The hands, the strength.
Sure.
Had a body like Bo Jackson through the rock. Didn't make it.
Yeah, that's a bummer. It's good. It's good to remember these guys. You got to remember some guys here. All right, September 18th, 1933. You think I was born? This was your debut. 93. Was I born before or after that date?
You was born after.
Yeah, I was.
You were, right? You don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
That's crazy, too, because I'm thinking,
sorry
I'm like,
for dating you.
93, I'm like, nah, you wasn't born yet. But I do, man, that was weird because I don't think I was supposed to get called up. Like, we actually had, we was coming up just to chill and kind of watch the BP and have batting practice and then sit in the stands and watch the game. It was like the top prospects getting a chance to come up and chill. I get a chance to be around Lance. Lance, what's up, man? You using AA, I was in AAA, whatever the case may be. And then somebody got hurt, and it was almost like we were in like PE, and it was like, hey, tomorrow you suiting up. I'm like, oh, man.
Like, me?
So, that's how it kind of happened. But when I think about my career, that's kind of how it was. It wasn't one that was just like, cut straight. It was always some weirdness happening, and maybe the good man upstairs was like, hey, this is how you perform your best.
Yeah.
Right? But it was a great run. I felt like, if you say one thing that you think about maybe once in a while now, is like, man, if you just didn't get hurt as much, right? If you just could have stayed out there. I always say, if you play, you can write the numbers down. They're going to be what they going to be.
Sure.
If you play. Right, you got to be out there 150 games plus. If you're out there 150 games, them is going to be there if you got that talent.
No doubt. Cliff Floyd, appreciate you taking the time. Always fun to remember some things here.